I probably shouldn't admit this, but I will admit it anyway. I unfortunately kind of cringe a little bit when I watch this episode because it was our technically weakest one. As I've mentioned, we were limited in some of the equipment that we could use, and in this episode, while we were filming this episode, on the day that we were filming, we ended up having a technical glitch, and so all of the color is a little bit off. You'll notice that like everything is kind of pinker than it should be, and we tried to fix this in post, but we couldn't quite get it right. And then also because it was super windy, and you can tell it's so cold, like the way it's windy and it's also really cold. It was just a miserable day, and because we didn't have the really good microphones, we also lost some people's audio and we had to ADR it. So that was unfortunate, and especially given that it's kind of earlier in the season. I'm like, I wish that if we had a sort of a lesser episode, maybe it would have been later, but that's okay. As I've mentioned before, we were learning and a lot of stuff like that. Now, Shay and Acantha, so these characters, I love these characters because, well, I created them with Heath and I, obviously, because we both wrote the story together. There is a lot of things that, might have been, just from his brain or just from my brain, and a lot of things that were also kind of a melding of both of our thinking. And so he, had the concept of this cult that it would be here, but then the specific characters, Shay and Acantha, I created those. And so it was so fun for me, and it was such a thrilling thing to see people audition and then ultimately play these characters that I'd created. Rachel and Mallory, who play Shay and Acantha respectively, they were both of them were like some of the last people that came in on our audition day, and they just blew me away. I was like, I know they need to be in the show, and at first I wasn't sure which characters they would play because they both also made a really great Sherry and Carrie, but ultimately I ended up deciding to make them the witches instead.
There are warlocks in the witch cult of Yog-Sothoth.
There's this theme that we have that we decided on in the story that any magic that may or may not exist in universe, we never specify whether or not there is magic. So that's why you see those two characters, they just kind of will pop into appearance sometimes. We took inspiration from, there's this Lovecraft story called The Dreams in the Witch House. And in that one, there are the witches of this cult are, they're traveling with like non-Euclidean calculus and quantum physics and whatever. And they would like make all these, complex symbols that would cause them, that they would then use to teleport to another dimension and things like that. And we decided to just make them kind of pop into appearance because also, we're not going to show all that. We're not going to tell you whether or not it's actually magic. And also it's just kind of funnier that way. There's this moment here where Rob just kind of looks back at the camera. And that was something that Dax did spontaneously. Where is it? It's right there. Yes. That was not something that I told him to do. It was not in the script, but I just died laughing. I was like, yes, please keep doing that. That is so perfect.
I'd never done yoga before. I thought it's good to try something new. I was wrong. Sometimes it's bad to try something new. Very bad.